Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Triple B's and I'm in the Haunted Basement Studio. And today we are doing the final chapter of Slasher Ripper. It is part 8. And if you guys have been listening all along, there are 7 chapters on my channel. You can go back onto the podcast also and watch it. Hardcore spoiler movie reviews podcast exclusively on YouTube because I produced content for YouTube only. Basil now is talking to Verdi despite everything that we shared last night. And we shared quite a bit. 2 peas in a pod, it would seem. But I am still the same woman intent on saving yourself for marriage. Yes, I know. I wouldn't want you any other way, which is why I humbly entreat you to make me the happiest, proudest man in all of Christendom. Give me the honor of marrying the most beautiful, the most dangerous woman a man could ever dream of. Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes, she says. Well, capital, yeah. We'll get married tomorrow. Tomorrow, how? How will we invite everyone? Who else needs to be there besides you, me, and the pastor? It's not like your sisters can't join us after all. No, they can't. Afterwards, we will have a party here at the house. Invite everyone who can make it. Celebrate 2 soulmates joined as one. Kenneth is now saying good morning to Mrs. Simcone. I could step out for a minute while you get dressed. She says no. Well, what time do you think your servants will be back? Oh, they're probably here already making breakfast. If you're fully dressed, I'm sure that we can spin some kind of tale about you guarding me while I was home alone in this house. I won't tell a soul, of course, nor I. I'm having doubts. No, not about last night. About the arrest. Viviana killed her sister. Yes, but does that make her the widow? Viviana could be quite cruel. It was sport to her. She was notoriously abusive to her servants. Yes, but then how does this connect to the vengeance of Margaret Mahar? If Viviana hated her sister so much, perhaps if she killed Margaret, she was executing all of those who knew what they did. After this many years, why now? From the start, I was certain that the widow had to be a woman, but Superintendent Kaczynski fought me on this over again and again. And you think it could be a man? But you've seen her and you sparred with her. Yes, and I've been bested by her in both of my encounters. And a woman isn't capable of doing that? The only people left from the photograph is George Rondon and Basil Garvey. Wasn't Basil in jail under your guard when Israel was killed? He was. And Basil is a sizable man. He is. If the widow is a man, he would have to be slight or schooled in some very impressive combat training. A foreign skill, nothing I've never seen. The Botticellis have traveled years with their father. When they were younger, Russia, Asia, Viviana was a championship rider and a dancer. Perhaps her physical skills don't end there. Then I must head back and talk to Viviana. Now, Basil and Verdi are eating breakfast. A box is being brought in and put onto the table. Oh, news of our arrangement traveled so quickly, Verdi says. Oh, my jeweler must have bragged his mouth to his friends. This is a 3 carat of Kimberly's finest.
May I unwrap it?
Be my guest. What's that smell? Maybe it's a cake.
It doesn't smell sweet.
Oh, here, I'll get it. And he uses the knife and he cuts it open. And it's George Rondon's head. Cut, opening credit scene. Boom! And in the great George Rondon's mouth is a note. And it reads, a private message, a prophetic hex. The musician was tragic. His mind was vexed. I took what I needed.
And the birdie says, what does it say? What does it say? I'm gonna go crazy if you don't tell me.
Your heart is next.
It's me. It's me. She's coming after me.
No, 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 darling. How could it possibly be you?
I'm your heart.
Basil turns to Kenneth. I know one very obvious deduction. Viviana is not the widow.
Yes, that does appear to be true.
Well, don't let that hex you on my account, you incompetent fuck.
Well, when Benito was killed,
I don't care. I don't want to hear any more of your dolish theories. Kaczynski was worthless, but at least he was a damn slight better than you will ever be. Get this back to the surgeon. The detective hands the head over, and we need to get some forensic investigation on the double. The deputy says, it might be good if we find the rest of her body too, sir. Right, of course. Maybe he should be running your goddamn department.
I am just as concerned as you are, sir.
I highly fucking doubt that. Is your name on the list of targets? Well, is yours? Do you know why it would be? What I know, you cheeky little motherfucker, is that I am now taking this investigation over.
That is not possible.
Tell me why Viviana had to be your widow, and maybe I will let this go. Why? Because she hated her so hateful sister?
There was a photograph.
What? That one Kaczynski showed me at the party? Yes, he showed me. What of it?
You and Viviana are now the last of those left from the party alive.
The last of the party? There were other people at that party, moron. Andrew May was there and he is still alive, despite being stabbed by someone very much who's not the widow.
Other than those people who were there that night.
Everyone, it was a fucking who's who of society. There was dozens of photographs taken, each with different people in them.
Do you know where they could be?
Edith, the photographer, I hired her as a gift. Everyone was to pick a photo that they wanted printed.
I need to see those negatives.
Yes, I don't have them here. If they're going to be anywhere, they're going to be at the newspaper. Mrs. Simcone now goes to the jail to talk with Viviana.
Regina, my rescuer, as happy as I am to see your comely face, should you not be out there securing my release? Please, please, look what they have done to me. They treated me like a common street whore.
You do look terrible.
They do not give a whit for who I am, my station in life. And look at my glory, my auburn locks. They cut them off with shears. I shall crucify the lot of them once you get me out of here.
Why will I do that?
Because I am not guilty.
but you are.
I did not kill my sister, Regina. Regina, people like us don't do those sorts of things.
Like us? What? We're not the same.
Of course we are.
You're an evil, vile, ill, self-centered little cunt.
What? How on earth can you talk like that?
Because I know of you and your horrific treatment of Margaret Mahar.
Oh, a servant? I don't give the servants more than what is called for. I can assure you, but why are you so concerned with some dumb lower class girl? Hmm?
Because I am one, you blind bitch.
You
I was her daughter.
and then she grabs her with the knife.
We don't matter, do we? And that's why you need to die.
Oh, please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. And she lets her back in the cell. You are the widow. I knew it. I knew it. The spirits ran through you at that seance. I knew that you were mad.
I faked it, see? And she rolls her eyes back in her head. Just a little trick. And all your friends fell for it like the dim little witted deviants that you are. This is the real me.
I'll tell them that you're the widow and then you'll be locked in here instead of me.
Really? You really think that they'll believe? Me, a heartbroken, grieving patriot of virtue? Are you a monster who arranged her own sister to be sawed in half in front of a live audience? If you were a man, you would be hanged for your crimes, but you won't be, which is far more worse because your death would be too easy of a punishment. Leave me alone. Instead of that quick release, you will be trapped in this cage. I don't belong in here. I don't belong in here. But you do. I don't belong in here. And it is better this way because this way you will understand how it feels to have your whole life and your whole world against you. You will grow old in here and you will die in here. And then you will be buried in an unmarked pauper's grave. Commonly forgotten. No, no. Well, rest assured, dearest Viviana, I shall sleep myself warm at night, remembering every last one of your pitiful screams. No, no. Kenneth Rikers does make it to the newspaper where he finds the negatives. And in one of the pictures, he sees a little girl that was there at the party. And so now he goes to Andrew May, the pastor, and he's asking him about the party from 12 years ago with the Botticellis. And he's like, why you ask me about a party from 12 years ago? Well, I was hoping that you can tell me who this little girl is. I have no idea. You didn't see her at all? You didn't speak to her? Not that I remember, no. Well, does the Botticellis have a girl? Did Margaret Mahar have a daughter? I do not know. Now, detective, if you do not mind, I must prepare for my receival of the flock. You have more motive for these murders than anyone.
I spent my life trying to forgive the people responsible for the hanging of my father. And I will not admit that I have prayed for retribution, but I turn to God and trust in Him to decide whether that should happen. Fine, but there was somebody else there that night. Someone who has a very good reason to kill everybody in this photo. And until I figure out who she is and why, you are clearly my prime suspect. How? How could I possibly? How could I have killed George Rondon from my sick bed? Perhaps you are working with another. My position is very public detective. The good sisters and many of my flock can attest to how busy I am. Who is she? I have no idea. Is she your daughter? That's absurd. Why are you protecting her identity? I always protect the innocent. If you know who she is, you must give me her name. I won't, and if you want to arrest me, you can do so. But I have already watched the police and the courts kill one innocent person I care about deeply, and I will not let them do it again. The pastor walks off, and Kenneth starts to think to himself, someone I care about deep. And now Kenneth goes to Mrs. Simcone's house and she says to him, well, we are alone and the servants are downstairs. Have you been playing me for a fool? Playing you? Have you been lying to me just to divert my focus? No, what's on earth is going on? I found this. And he pulls out a picture of a young girl. Where did you get that? It doesn't matter where I got it. What matter is who is hiding in the corner. You see, and I think it's Margaret Mahar's daughter. And I think that she is you, and you have been playing me this entire time. And he grabs her wrist and she whimpers. Please tell me I'm wrong. And he lets go of her wrist, and you see the bruise. 12 years ago. Benita and Viviana are talking to Margaret and her young daughter. We don't want some street ultrant running around like we're living in a slum house. I'm sorry, ma'am. It won't happen. Smack Viviana right in Margaret's face. She positively ruined our party. I'm sorry. Silence. We will let this little rat stay here just out of courtesy, but we will throw her out just like the trash if she doesn't stay in the kitchen with Mrs. Tamaraha. Yes, ma'am. Later, Margaret is telling her daughter everything is going to be okay. They hit you because of me. We're going to get out of here. Yeah, I'm going to go to Mr. Garvey and I am going to get some money so that we can escape. Okay? After she talks with Mr. Garvey, Kenneth is talking to the Botticelli sisters. Your housemaid, Margaret Mahar, she was found murdered. Well, we didn't expect this dark news on such a pleasant night. Yes, it is rather violent. Disturbing so. Does she by chance have any family or relatives that I can notify? No family at all. Could could you perhaps shed some light on Margaret's character? Was there any dangerous elements in her life? It was more of a bed and pans and laundry relationship. I doubt that we can be much help. Thank you, Constable. of course, good day. And as the little girl is crying because she just heard that her mom is dead, you little snoop, my mother, I want my mother. Poking your nose here where it doesn't belong as usual. I want my mother. She's gone, and you are gone. And now, you too, you little rat. No. And Bibiana grabs her and throws her out. The little girl has just lost her mother, and now she is outside sobbing. And here comes walking down the steps is Mrs. Tamaraha. And she reaches out her hand and she says, "The world is unfair. So you must become strong so that you can change the world." And she holds her hand out, and the little girl takes it. Now, back with Kenneth and Regina, he's saying, "Still, vengeance isn't justice." But Basil Garvey and his friends and tortured and murdered my mother. And because of who they were, nothing was done. There was no justice for her. An innocent man was hanged. 2 children lost their only parents, while these evil fucks carry on with their ascertained, sorry, travelized asses' lives. Okay, help me understand. You go on this course of vengeance based on what? Nothing but hearsay? Of course not. Alistair verified it all. I needed to be 100% sure. He told me everything, what happened on that horrid night. What happened, who partaked, and what each monster did. He seemed proud of it. And that's why you married him, to get proof? Proof that Basil Garvey was the mastermind. He orchestrated the whole thing and he pulled them in, all of them, to ensure his secrecy, and he pinned it on Andrew's father. And for that, he needs to be destroyed. He will face justice. He hasn't after 12 years. He owned Kaczynski. He owned the police. He owned the judges. And he owns the whole damn city. He can make anything happen. And he will. He doesn't have any proof. And I will make sure that he pays for this. And you have no proof beyond the words of a martyr. And I cannot accept that. Everything that I dedicated my entire life to depends on justice, and this even being possible. Well, I am going to finish what I started. You need to leave. You need to leave town now, or you will be brought to justice too. And then he leaves and he goes into the jail to talk with Benita. And he says to her, "Let's make a deal." "Yes, yes, anything you want." "Well, I need you to testify against Basil Garvey." "Are you fucking kidding me? That's a death wish. I will rather stay in here." And so now he goes back to Mrs. Sancone's house, where he finds a note, and it says, "Only justice renders vengeance unnecessary. You're the only man I met here capable of achieving that. But my days of waiting are done." Basil now walks into the church where he sees Birdie sitting in her gown. He walks up behind her. He says, "I'm here, my love." And he walks around to kiss her. Jesus Christ, it's Margaret Mahar's skeleton. 12 years ago. Margaret is pleading with Basil. "I know what I did was wrong. Please spare me, please. My daughter deserves to have a mother." You should have thought about that before you threatened me. And then he covers her mouth and nose with his hands. Why should I care about a daughter of a whore? Why should I care about you? Either of you. And then she dies and he throws her on the floor. And the Chief Kaczynski was watching it the whole time. And now back at the church. What the fuck is going on, Verdi? The widow appears and starts to run towards him. What the fuck have you done with her? And then they start to fight, but the widow gets the upper hand on him. And then Verdi walks down the stairs and says, "No one you own will love you." Gladys appears from behind and says, "No one that you hurt will help you." Pastor, look what they done to me. Look what they done to me in your goddamn church. No confession of yours will absolve you. I should have hanged you with your father. Detective, detective, she is here. The widow with her cronies. They're all here. You need to arrest everyone. No law in this land will spare you. Why? Why are you here if not to help me? The widow starts to take off her veil and reveals that it's Regina Simcone. You, my vow and my hand will kill you. Rikers, I demand justice. Thanks to you, she is the only justice we have left. She grabs his head and starts pushing her thumbs into his eye sockets. And then all of them start pushing their thumbs into him until his blood and guts go everywhere and he falls on the ground dead. And then they slowly walk out of the church, all bloody. End cut credit scene. Boom! All right, you motherfuckers. I hope you enjoyed that, man. That was a lot of editing, and it was a hell of a lot of fun doing that. I really do enjoy talking about some of these characters, or, as Basil Garvey, his lines are so fucking sadistic and evil. I love it. There are some other great characters I did love talking about the series. Uh, Mr. Kaczynski, he was awesome. The Chief with his cocaine habit. Awesome fucking characters, man. So overall, the whole series, man, hell yeah, dude. You guys watch Slasher, Ripper. I think it's season 5, dude. I'm absolutely loving them all. I missed season 4 and I feel super bad about it. So I may have to go back and watch it. You tell me in the comment section below if I should go watch season 4 and maybe do reviews on that one. So yeah, I there is a couple different things that could made this a 10 and a couple different things that could have made this an 8. But I am still gonna hold a 9 out of 10 on this song, bitch. Yeah, it still fucking holds up good. I mean, I wouldn't do all this recap if I didn't like it and watching each episode a lot of times over and over. Some of them multiple, more than others, but yeah, you can imagine you can't just watch this one time and do what I do. So, thank you for joining me in Haunted Basement Studio. And Slasher Ripper is a 9 out of 10. I recommend you go watch it on Shudder. Shudder has awesome movies. Dude, they just released some last night or just the other day. I was looking at it. I'm like, oh my God, that looks cool. That looks cool.
I'm definitely going to be watching them and doing a review on it. I love Shudder. I love horror. You motherfuckers, you keep it horror. And stab that like button with the sub on the way out, just like the widow does. Michael. Ha ha! Later.